Hi, I'm James from Whitlox Homestead, and today I'm here to show you how to assemble our char cart. For this, you will need all these parts, along with two 7/16 wrenches and a metal barrel that has no holes in it. If you have an impact driver with a socket, it will make the assembly much faster. Before you start, thread a nut and a lock washer onto the stainless all-thread rod. We'll need this in a second. Take the barrel strut and lay it on a table so that the flat of the triangle is facing away from you and the two mounting holes are facing up. Next, take the side plate with the engraving on it and, with the Whitlox logo up and facing you, insert the all-thread rod you just prepped into the top left hole. Using the all-thread as a pivot, line up the hole pattern and install a bolt in the second hole. Flip the assembly over, keeping the bolts in with one hand. Take the other side piece without the engraving and install onto the two protruding bolts. Secure in place finger tight only. It is important that all of the hardware stays loose while you assemble the cart, as this will ensure a good fit between the parts. The rest of the bolts you install should all be done from the engraved side. Here is a close-up of the assembly up to this point. The all-thread should be centered with a calibrated eyeball. Now we are going to install the leg. This will rest on the ground when the char cart is in its angled position. Note the orientation of the barrel strut and the foot of the leg. With the triangle of the barrel strut facing away from you and the engraved side piece up, the foot should end up facing down. Insert a bolt into one hole and use that as a pivot to line up the other bolt hole and insert the second bolt. Flip the whole assembly over again and affix the lock washers and nuts, again only going finger tight. Here is a view of the assembly at this stage. Note the orientation of the flat portions of the strut and leg. Now, flip the assembly over on the long axis so that the leg is facing away from you. Take the handle, with the crook facing away from you as well, and repeat the same process we've been using for the other bolt hole patterns. You should have an assembly that looks just like what you see here. The next part to install is the barrel mount. Place the already assembled cart on a flat surface. Note that the barrel mount has a tab on each end. These should be facing up along with the knurl in the center. Here we are using two long bolts and two flange nuts. Install the bolts from the back side of the barrel strut triangle with the toothed side of the flange nut against the angle iron. This is important as these two bolts both hold the barrel mount on and center the barrel here at the bottom. Also make sure that the mount is on the outside of the barrel strut triangle. Now we need to install the heat shields that keep the wheels safe from the hot barrel. It is important to install the two bolts for the shields from the outside of each side, as this will keep the bolts from interfering with the wheels. Here is the bolt orientation needed. So this section here is how I end up doing it most of the time, where I remove the all-thread rod to install the wings that attach to the barrel strap. How I'd recommend you doing it is to leave the rod installed and just take the nut and lock washer off. Then place one wing on one side of the all-thread with its lock washer and nut following it, and then repeat on the other side. The centering here is also not very important. Just make sure to leave these parts loose until we have the barrel and strap attached, as it can be really difficult to get the strap in if the wings are too tight. Here we see the correct orientation. Now we just go around and tighten up all of the bolts except for the all-thread rod that has the barrel wings. I use an impact driver just because it's faster, but 2 wrenches or a couple of ratchets will do the job just fine. Just a couple more steps left. Now we make a washer sandwich, or a wheel sandwich I guess. Place a large washer onto the axle, followed by the wheel and another washer. A cotter pin will secure the wheel in place. Note that the wheels have an inner and an outer side, with the inner side being the ones with a long stub. Watch through this section once more again if needed, as I sort of glossed past that part. The barrel strap is the most finicky part on here, but if the wings are loosely installed, it will go on easy. Lift one end of the barrel up and place it onto the knurl in the middle of the barrel mount. It should catch the lip at the bottom of the barrel. Gently lower the barrel until the cart meets up with it. The cart should be stationary enough to use both hands for the strap installation. The strap has tabs on each end, one side with a threaded rod and a weldment on it, and the other side should be flat. The flat side goes towards the barrel. Insert one threaded end into one wing and secure it with a lock washer and a nut, just enough to where the rod will not fall out as you go and do the same to the other side. Then you just have to level the strap and tighten it and the wings up. Ensure that the bump on your barrel is above the strap. This is what the wings and strap should look like, all tightened up. That's the finished assembly. Thanks for watching, and check out our store at whitloxforge.com to find our Charcart and other products such as our forges and guillotine tools. Links are in the description. We also have another video on making charcoal with the Charcart. Check it out and consider subscribing. Thanks for watching.